The first thing you want to do when you start to create a Facebook ad is you want to choose your objective. What do you want the ad to do? You've got three choices here. Most of the time, your ads will be either awareness or consideration. So, awareness is a great thing to do if you don't have many Facebook fans, you don't have much Facebook engagement. This is a good place to start. Basically, the sole purpose of this ad is to get more likes on your page, or in the case of a physical location, to get more people to come to your location. So, depending on your goal there. Most of the time, though, it's just going to be to get more fans on your page, to get more likes, because the more likes you have, the more reach you have. Consideration is a little bit different. You want traffic to a website, so not necessarily to your Facebook page, but to an external website. So maybe it's you're selling tickets for something, or you have a special campaign on your website. Engagement is to get people to engage with posts that you have on your Facebook page. This can be something like boosting a post. Those are the main two we're going to talk about. App installs, video views, or lead generation are a little bit more specific for other types of things. You're not selling or promoting an app. You might have video views that you want to promote if you've got a video on your site. And then conversion is more in the e-commerce realm. So you're taking somebody from Facebook to your website to complete a transaction. So perhaps that might be applicable if you're doing a donation drive or you're selling t-shirts or tickets to an event. But like I said, for the most part, we're going to focus on awareness and consideration. So let's start with the first and most basic type of ad. This is great if you haven't got much of a Facebook following and you want to get more likes on your page. So just choose brand awareness. The first thing you want to do is give this campaign a name. You can always hover over this little I to help you know what they're talking about. In this case, we want to just call this, say, page likes. So the first thing you want to do is create your audience. So these are the people you want your ad to be shown to. The most important thing you can do to make your ads very cost effective on Facebook is to define a good audience. You want to show your ad to people who are more likely to take action on that ad. So for example, you want to show your ad to people who care about animals. For example, if you work for Pampers and you're selling diapers, you want to show that ad to people who have children who wear diapers. So let's go ahead and create a new audience. So you want to choose between these two, people who have already interacted with your page. So that would be people who've already liked your page, or new people. In this case, since you're trying to get more fans to like your page, you want to say lookalike audience. The source is the source that's going to use to model your new audience after. So you'll type in the name of your page here because you're basically saying, we want people who are like the people who already like our page. Right. And then you'll choose the country. Obviously, United States is going to be the choice for most of us here. Audience size lets you choose between 1 and 10% of the total population of the country that you've chosen. So obviously 10% of the population of the United States is a really large number. Unless you had a huge budget and were advertising something that was applicable to people everywhere, like if you were McDonald's, there are McDonald's everywhere and you want everyone to eat there. But in our case, we're focusing on something much smaller, much more local. So we'll keep it down there at 1%. And then you choose Create Audience. All right, now it's taking us back to our audience page where we can create a more specific audience. Over here, you'll see this audience definition, and this keeps updating based on the different criteria that you put in. So right now, my ad is very specific. So it wants you to be somewhere here in the green. Too broad and your ad isn't going to be effective and you'll waste money. Too specific, your ad won't show to enough people. So you want to be somewhere there in the green. And we can do that by adjusting the criteria a little bit. So locations is important. Obviously, most of us serve just one local area, maybe one city, town, community, state. So we'll go ahead and drill down a little bit more specifically. In my case, I'm in Oklahoma City, so we'll just start with that. So I'm going to include locations, and I'll select that. And now what has happened is it has changed my audience from the United States in general to Oklahoma City. And it gives you a 25-mile radius, so it shows you that on a map. Now you can make that a little bit broader or narrower if you'd like. So maybe you want it to be a 50-mile radius or just a 20-mile radius. So I've got my location determined here. Now I have the opportunity to edit the age that I want to reach. So your first instinct might be, well, we want to reach everybody, but depending on the type of ad, you might want to reach a certain age group. If you're looking for people to come during their college volunteer day, maybe you want to target younger people. In this case, though, since we are looking just for people to like our page, that's our goal, we do want to have the largest group that we possibly can. So this is what it defaults to. 13 is the youngest age on Facebook, so you can go all the way down to 13 if you'd like, and 65 plus is the largest age group. So you can see when I did that, it changed my audience here. So now my audience is defined right there smack dab in the middle, so that's good. What's nice about switching it down to a younger age is you can capitalize on that Instagram feed as well. Facebook now owns Instagram, so if you place an ad on Facebook, you're also able to place the same ad on Instagram if you wish. You don't have to, but you can. You can choose if you'd like your ad to be shown to men and women, or just men or just women. You can choose if you want people only who speak a specific language to see your ad. I'm not going to do either of those. I want to show to men and women and people in all languages. Now here's where you can get even more detailed in your audience. If you're fine with it like this, you're good to go. But by using these detailed targeting tools, you can really maximize the impact of your ad because it will be shown to more people who match exactly the criteria of people who are more likely to like your page. So for example, I'll just type in a few that I can think of, say dogs. So dogs, and then you get to choose between whether it has dogs as job titles, employers, or schools. In our case, we'll choose interests. So that's showing you over here, there are about 292 million people who have the interest of pets and dogs. But remember, we're choosing people who have that interest in our geographic area that we've chosen. So that's a smaller number than this 292 million. So we'll choose that. And it's going to have people who match at least one of the following. So now we might put in cats. It's going to give us some other suggestions here that we can try. And you'll notice that when I had chosen just dogs, it brought my definition over here into the red again. It was too narrow. Now that we've chosen cats, we're back into the middle. So between cats and dogs, we get a lot of people. Now we might also want to choose something like volunteering, people who volunteer. And where this information comes from, as you know, on your own Facebook page, when you like another page or you talk about something in your post or you RSVP to an event, all of that information is collected and Facebook puts this data together about you based on what you do on Facebook. And that's really where Facebook makes their money because they've got all this data on people so they can serve up to advertisers like us a very narrow, detailed, high quality audience. So as a consumer, you might feel weird that Facebook's collecting this data on you, but as an advertiser, it's really advantageous. I'm also going to choose Oklahoma City because I'd like to see people who have pride in our city. You might choose your local sports team if you have one, although those interests don't necessarily coincide. People who are interested in animals and your sports team. So it's just all about how broad you want to get. As you assemble your audience here, it's going to tell you your potential reach. So 280,000 people potentially match these criteria. So that's a good sized audience, and you could really stop there. Connections let you target it even further. For this type of ad, you won't need to do connections. You can choose connections, for example, people who like your page, friends of people who like your page, or exclude people who already like your page. That might be a good idea because our goal with this ad is to get new likes on our page. So we can exclude people who already like our page. You can also choose people who have used your app. Most of us don't have apps, so that's not relevant. People who have responded to your event, or exclude people who already did respond to your event. In this case, we're not dealing with an event specifically, but if you wanted to, for example, get everybody who had responded to an event to like your page, you could target that audience. If there were people who responded to your event but hadn't liked your page yet, you could do that. So we'll just leave this at excluding people who already like our page. Then you can save this audience. And remember, you can create many, many different audiences for this particular ad. You can create different audiences to use with different ads, but you can create lots of very specific audiences. So this is going to just be general likes audience. All right, here's where you define your budget. Now there are a few different ways you can do the budget. You can do a daily budget, so I want to spend $5 a day, period, that's all I want to spend. Or you can do a lifetime budget. So a daily budget, you can say I want to spend X dollars per day for so many days, or you can say I want to spend $100 over the course of 10 days, but some days you might spend 7, other days you might spend 2, just depending on how Facebook wants to allocate it based on traffic. Now, they are automatically going to distribute your ad in the most cost-effective way. You get some different options if you choose daily budget versus lifetime budget. So I like to choose lifetime budget for the sole reason that you can choose not to have your ads run all night long. I prefer the ads to run during the day when the majority of people are on Facebook, not in the middle of the night. So I'll choose lifetime budget, and this allows me to have a start and an end date. Now, it's going to default me to $350 here. Let's say I just want to spend $100. Now, that's total, so it will never charge me more than $100. With that being said, you want to have a pretty short time frame. Right now, it's defaulting to 1 month. $100 spent over 1 month is not going to get you very much exposure with your ad. So maybe we'll choose a 10-day period. We'll start today and we'll go to next Sunday, for example. And you can even set the specific time of day you want it to start. And again, optimizing for ad delivery, we're going to choose brand awareness. And it's telling you here, we'll serve your ads to people most likely to pay attention to them. Bid amount, usually set that to automatic. It's going to determine how much to spend on your ad at different times of day. Now, this is important because this can vary based on the choices you make in terms of the budget, lifetime or daily budget. So there's impression. So you can be charged by impression, which is whenever somebody sees your ad. And obviously, we can't know when people see your ad or whether it just appears on the page. We don't know whether they actually look at it. So you can pay by impressions or you can pay by clicks. If you pay by clicks, you'll only be charged when somebody actually clicks on your ad. Impressions, people might see your ad 4 or 5 times before they actually click on it and take action. Now, you can schedule your ad because you have a lifetime budget. So more options lets you choose a schedule. And it tells you ad schedule only works with lifetime budget. And say I'd like to schedule my ad from, say, 8 a.m. to 10 p.m. That's when most people are on Facebook most of the time. Not in the middle of the night, not from midnight to 7 a.m., say. So I can just click on each little box of where I want it to be, or I can just click here and I can highlight this whole area. So that's for weekdays. Facebook traffic is a lot lower on Saturday and Sunday, so maybe you don't want your ad to run on the weekends. That's what I'm going to go with here, just to kind of maximize my budget. Under delivery type, you get 2 options. There is standard or accelerated. Accelerated would be if you were advertising for an event that takes place this weekend, for example, so you need all of your ad buys to be shown really, really quickly, but it's only available with a manual bid, which we've chosen automatic bid. So standard is generally what you're going to go with here. And then you're going to set a name for this ad set. So again, you can have several different ads running with this particular audience, with different budgets that run different times, for example. So you can get really, really detailed here. But in our case, we're just doing one general ad that we're going to run. And remember, we haven't even created the artwork for our ad yet. Now you have the choice of how you want to format your ad. So we will probably create a new ad. You could use an existing post if you just wanted to promote a post that you have. But in most cases, an existing post is going to be a little bit too specific. And remember, our purpose in this ad is just to get new likes to our page. So it needs to be very generic, very broad, and basically just describe your organization and what it does. So we'll more on that in a little bit. But first, we need to decide how we want it to look. When you're thinking about the format you want to choose, think about that this is going to be appearing on people's phones, on their tablets, and on computers. So you want something that's going to work in any of those situations. And Facebook will automatically resize the photos and format them correctly. I like slideshow ads. I also like single image ads and carousels. With a single image ad, what's nice is you can upload 6 different images with the same text. It will show them all, and then it will figure out which one is performing the best, which one is getting the most clicks, and it will just continue to show that one more. So I kind of like that because it does the work for you. Let's go ahead and choose that one just for now. So first we want to upload our images. It gives you some specs over here of how you want to size your image. It's really important that the ads contain no text. Facebook will penalize you if your image contains a lot of text. You have a chance to put text in it later, obviously, but your picture shouldn't have any words in it. If you upload images that are smaller than this, they aren't going to look great. They might be pixelated, kind of fuzzy and blurry. So just keep that in mind when you're choosing images or having somebody create images for you. So let's go ahead. I'll just choose some images that I already have on my computer. These aren't all going to be very good high resolution images, so you'll get to see an example of what they look like when they're not quite big enough. So I'm just going to choose these photos from my computer and upload them. And if you can't really find any that you like, you can browse through their free stock images as well. So now it's going to let me customize the text that's actually on my ad. So I want to choose the page that I want the ad to go to. So this is the page I want to get likes for. All the pages for which you are an admin will show up here. So if you're not an admin on your page, you can't create an ad for your page. That's important to note. So I've got quite a few pages that I am an admin for. So I'm going to go down here and choose this one, the pet food pantry, just as an example. And it gives you a little preview of your ad over here. So this is useful to see what it will look like. In this preview area, you can also choose where you're seeing how it's going to look. So if you say, okay, that's how it looks on the desktop, I want to see how it's going to look on a mobile news feed. Let's see how that would look. And then it just shows you that different view. So this is really a good idea to choose your photo to make sure it looks good in all those different scenarios, and to make sure you have a good chunk of text because it might truncate that text a little bit. You can also choose your Instagram account here. So if you don't have an Instagram account, don't worry about it. If you do, you can add it here because Facebook owns Instagram, and this is a good opportunity to have your ads shown on Instagram as well. So you would either select your Instagram account here, or you would add an account, and the way you do that is simply logging in, providing your username and password to your Instagram account. Now you can put in your text. Now you only get this much text. It's a very small amount of text, so you really have to be judicious. In this case, all we want to do is get people to click like. We just want people to like our page. Now, most people who like animals, when they see an ad here for the pet food pantry with a picture of a dog with a little bit of text explaining what the pet food pantry does, they're going to click like. There's a really low threshold. It's not a high commitment for people to just click like on that page. So this would be a really effective ad. So basically, we just need to have a little bit of text here that explains what this organization does. And as you're typing your text, it will update this preview over here so you can see what that will look like. So what it will do, then it will display this text, and it will change out the picture between this one and the other 5 that you uploaded. And after a while, it will start to determine which pictures are doing the best, getting the most clicks, getting the most interest, and it will start to show those pictures more than the others. You can also add a website URL. Keep in mind that if you do add your website, there is a small chance that people might go here and click on the website instead of liking your page, which wouldn't be the end of the world, because if they go to your website, that's good too. But remember, the goal of this ad is to get people to like your page. That's it. You can also add a headline here. This won't appear in every scenario in which the ad would appear, but you can put a headline if you'd like. My feeling kind of is you get so few words to describe what you're doing here, you might as well take advantage of as many as you can. So if it gives you the opportunity to put it in a headline, go ahead and do that. It lets you put some more text in there. You can also add a brief description here. Again, this won't appear in all placements, but it gives you the opportunity to do it, so why not put some in there? So I typed in a brief description here. As you can see, the problem is it limits that to just one line. So if you have something that you can put on just one line, that might work. So maybe I could shorten it. So if you can put something there that's brief and very short, like this, that's fine. But you don't want something really long because it won't display the whole thing. You can have a call to action button if you'd like. You are limited, though, in the ones that you can select from. So none of these really fits, in my opinion, so I'm going to leave it with no button. The Instagram ad will use the Learn More button. And then you have some advanced parameters here that I'm not going to go into today. This lets you click through the different versions of the ad that will display, so you can see what they'll all look like in its various iterations. And you can use this to click through and see all the different images to make sure that they look good. And one thing to note, I did not upload images that were nearly as large as they recommended, but they look okay. So if you don't have something that is exactly the dimensions that they request, don't sweat too much. And then when you're ready, go ahead and click on Place Order. Now here's a note about paying for the ads. All payments through Facebook are connected to your individual Facebook profile. So even though I want to place an ad for various pages that I manage, all of my credit card and payment information is billed through my personal profile. So if you are an admin on your Facebook page, you can place an ad for your page, but the billing occurs through your personal profile. So that's where you will need to enter your credit card information. It can be an organizational or company credit card, but it has to be through your personal profile. So to edit your payment information to add a credit card, go over here, make sure you're in your ads manager, and click on this little stacked menu here. And you can choose from the main menu here, but you want to go over to billing and payment methods. And this is where it will list what your current balance is, your payment methods that you have. If you don't have anything here because you've never entered one, you can click on edit payment methods, and that's where you would add a PayPal account or add a credit card. Once your ad has been running for a while, you can go back to just your main overview, and you'll be able to see all your ads here in your ad manager, and you can look at their performance, see how they're doing, tweak things if you'd like. You can always edit an ad even while it's running. You can see what you've spent. You can take a little tour and get a lot of other information about the ads that you're running. So that is an overview of how to create a Facebook ad that will get more likes to your page.